it is quite a long start. We're not quite sure
if you keep on paddling, I can't start you.
There we go. We hear from the umpires. They're saying, Star and Arrow, if you keep on paddling, we can't start you. So they're waiting for all crews to be still. Now they're away.
Look at that blade work in the Windsor boys quad. Absolutely lightning quick. Perfect timing. Altogether, really, really good and quick and clean start from them. But the power in this Leander boat, I think, is what we're going to see shine through in the late stages. They're nearly 2 stone a man heavier than the Windsor boys boat. So you'd expect a faster start in the Windsor boys quad than the Star and Arrow club. But once Star and Arrow get up to momentum, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with here.
And we could see there the stroke man from the Star and Arrow club. He just, it's Tom Ballinger, he just gave a little shout over to his bowman, but they're having to adjust their steering now. The umpire had the white flag out, and you can see the Star and Arrow club crew moving back into their station at Barks, but they're in the green and the gold. We can see the Windsor Boys School, and it's very tight in this early stage of the race.
It really has been an immaculate start from them. It's going to be interesting to see the distances when we get that perpendicular shot, because that slight course direction will have cost Star and Arrow here, but you can see they have a quick peek across. I think they might be starting to nudge into the lead. Shortly we'll see on the quarter-mile board the marker go up. So Windsor boys are out in front. Any moment now we should determine just by quite how much. But look at that immaculate and clean blade work here. I think they'll be very, very keen to implement their race strategy and just stick to it.
And in the Windsor boat, in the stroke seat, Tom Smith, Bryn Ellery, Harry Oliver, Arthur Smith. And there, of course, in the Star and Arrow Club boat, we have Tom Ballinger, David Few, Hadley Butcher, and Peter Golowski. Sorry about that, little trip over my tongue there.
So it looks as though the Star and Arrow Club are starting to poke their nose out into the lead. They're underrating the Windsor Boys School boat here by about 2 pips. So they're down at 34. Windsor Boys still high rate of striking at 36. You probably need to be doing that into this headwind, but the challenge would be keeping the momentum up and keeping the blade work clean. So as we start to see the picture develop, Windsor Boys building a lead here. What a dominating performance by them, actually. This is quite impressive stuff from this young crew out there on the water.
And I'm Sarah Cook, and this is Peter O'Hanlon, and we're bringing you the Fawley Challenge Cup live from the Henley Royal Regatta. We see there in the green and gold the Windsor Boys School up against the Star and Arrow Club in the Buck Station. And we look at this incredible boat that they're rowing here, the Windsor Boys with the back wing rigger. It's becoming very popular in international racing, particularly. Just a different style and a preference for a lot of people. We can see here at the Star and Arrow Club, they have the traditional front wing rigger, but they're sitting just a couple of lengths down now on the Windsor School, who is getting stronger and stronger as they move down the course.
You might be wondering why the Star and Arrow Club have Leander badged across the front of their lycras. They're the ones in the cerise pink. The reason for that is they've changed the way that they label them, actually, at Leander. So now you've got Leander and essentially the Academy, which is the Star and Arrow Club here, so the development crew from Leander.
So just a few moments ago, the Star and Arrow Club caught a little crab, which we didn't quite see, but we can see the replay now. Yes, a crab there to the Star and Arrow Club. It looked like that they were adjusting their steering, so just going slightly off kilter there, and it looked like possibly the 3 or the stroke man who just caught a little bit of water there and missed that stroke. But the Windsor Club, the Windsor Boys School in the green and gold there on screen, sitting very comfortably in the lead. They've been very tidy all the way down the course, Peter. I'm very impressed with how they've managed to stay together in this head breeze condition. The race takes so much longer than it should, and obviously slightly longer than 2,000 metres anyway. So they're really very skillful, and a great display of quadruple sculling.
They've dropped the rating a little bit now. They were up at 36 for the majority of the course. They're down now to 32, so they've just wound it down ever so slightly. Obviously, you've got to reserve energy for the later stages of the event. This will be their one and only race today, but it's amazing how when you give it your all on one day, funnily enough, the next day, you're not quite back up to 100%. Winners in this race go on to face Maritime Rowing Club B from the USA, so they're a selected crew, and with that they've been given a bye through to the next round. So Maritime Rowing Club B haven't yet raced at the regatta, but the winner of this race we're seeing here in this heat of the Fawley Challenge Cup will go on to race them most likely tomorrow.
Very confident sculling as they move down the track here. The green and gold colours there of the Windsor Boys School. They're now several lengths clear of their opposition from the Star and Arrow Club, who we saw had a little mishap just before. They're really starting to, you can see their blade work just not quite matching up. Their rating's a lot lower, down on 29.5. The bowman, interestingly, there in the Star and Arrow Club, you got a good shot of him sitting almost out of the boat sideways. So having a few little technical issues there. It is swirly on the course, and sometimes that can be quite unsettling. It can cause the boat not to sit level, which can be really taxing. But I'm very impressed with how this crew from the Windsor Boys School is holding together. Great striking there from Tom Smith in the stroke seat. He's only 73 kilos. The bowman, Arthur Smith, also 72 kilos. Harry Oliver and Bryn Ellery in the middle of the boat at 81 kilos. Seems that the eldest is the bowman, 18 years and 5 months, Arthur Smith, and the youngest, Bryn Ellery in the 3-seat, only 15 years of age.
So looking here at the Leander boat, Hadley Butcher, who's in the 2-seat, the slightly bigger one, the taller chap in the 2-seat there. This is only his first year of rowing, so I think we can all admit that that's quite an impressive performance from him. 1 year's worth of rowing, and he's found himself already competing here at Henley for the development squad at Leander. So clearly a long way to go, but what an impressive start from him into his rowing career.
Yeah, and this crew here from the Windsor Boys School, they've raced and they've won at the Ghent International, at the Metropolitan Regatta and Nottingham City Regatta. They also had strong performances at Wallingford and Marlow at Dorney. So this crew's had a lot of time together. They've had some race wins under their belt. You get confident with every outing and especially with every victory. So they're looking every bit the confident, well-raced crew in round one here. And certainly with this polished performance, I think that they'd be real contenders to make it through towards the end of the regatta.
You're so right. I mean, they're an established crew, but with that comes expectation on them. I mean, dealing with that expectation has got to be quite a difficult thing to cope with.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a hard thing, I think, trying to temper your excitement and expectation and just trying to stay in your performance and what you can do in that moment and keeping your head. And it's such, look how close the crowd is there. It's such an interesting regatta from that perspective. But crossing here, we have the Windsor Boys School winning the Fawley Challenge Cup. And coming down to the line now, the Star and Arrow Club. We see the bowman there just shouting out to the crew, letting them know they're coming up to the line. As they cross the line there, the Star and Arrow Club. And the win there to the green and gold crew, the Windsor Boys School.